What's up, Broncos country? Hold on, Broncos country. Are you ready for what I'm about to tell you? Because what's happening with our team right now could completely change the direction of this season. And when I say change, I'm not talking about just anything. I'm talking about something very few people imagined at the beginning of the year. Something that seemed impossible just a few months ago. Stay with me until the end of this video because I'm going to show you a scenario that could happen in the next 2 weeks that will make you jump out of your seat with excitement. Check out the situation. Denver Broncos with 10 wins and only 2 losses. 10-2, family. We're leading the AFC West again. And not just leading, we're dominating. We're showing everyone that this team came to win. And you know what's even more incredible? People are comparing this season to that magical year of 2015. That's right. That year where everything went right. Where every game was a battle won. Where the defense was an impenetrable wall. But hold on. I haven't gotten to the part that's going to drive you crazy yet. What I'm about to tell you now is something that nobody, absolutely nobody, was predicting before the season started. It's something that could happen much faster than anyone imagined. Pay attention because the math here is simple, but the impact is gigantic. At this moment, it would be a monumental surprise if Denver didn't win the division title. We're so well positioned that even securing the best record in the AFC is on the radar. You heard that right? The best record in the conference, the one that guarantees home field advantage in all playoff games, the one that makes opponents come play in our stadium, with our crowd, with our weather. But here's the detail that's going to make your heart race. Depending on what happens in the coming weeks, Denver can not only secure a playoff spot for the 2nd consecutive year, but also guarantee the AFC West title several weeks early. That's right, family. Several weeks before the end of the regular season, something that would have been considered absolutely unthinkable at the beginning of the year. And here's what's interesting. The scenario for this to happen is actually pretty simple. I'm not talking about crazy combinations involving 10 different teams. No, I'm talking about something straightforward, something that basically depends on us doing our job and hoping some things go our way. And these things aren't that unlikely, believe me. Let's understand the math here. Broncos country. Let's see who the opponents are that can still threaten us in the race for the division title and what needs to happen for us to close this deal once and for all. First, let's look at who's right behind us in the standings. Los Angeles Chargers. They're at 8 wins and 4 losses. A good team, no doubt. A team that's been playing well during the season, but a team that's 4 games behind us in the standings right now. 4 games difference. That's a lot, especially when we're entering the final stretch of the season. Now comes the good part. Let's see what the next commitments are for Denver and the Chargers in the next 2 weeks. Pay very close attention to this schedule, because this is where the magic can happen. Week 14. Denver goes to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. A team that's completely lost this season. A team that has nothing left to play for except pride. It's the type of game we need to dominate from start to finish. Can't slip up, can't relax, but it's a game that's completely within our reach. It's the type of game that a 10-win, 2-loss team simply cannot lose. Week 15. We host the Green Bay Packers here at home. And when I say at home, I'm talking about that stadium where our crowd makes the difference, where the weather can weigh in our favor, where every play has the deafening noise of Broncos country supporting. The Packers are a traditional, respected team, but it's a game where playing with our intensity, with our defense pressuring, with our offense producing, victory is totally within our reach. Now let's see what happens with Los Angeles in those same 2 weeks, and this is where things get interesting for us. Week 14, the Chargers host the Philadelphia Eagles. And family, the Eagles are no joke. They're one of the most complete teams in the NFL right now. A team with a powerful offense, solid defense, an experienced coach. It's an extremely difficult game for Los Angeles, the type of game that could perfectly result in a loss for them. Week 15, this gets even better. The Chargers go to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. And everyone knows that playing against Kansas City at home is always extremely complicated. Even if the Chiefs aren't having their best season, playing there is always a brutal challenge. Patrick Mahomes at home is always dangerous. That stadium always makes a difference. It's another game where Los Angeles could perfectly well come out defeated. So sum it up with me here. All that needs to happen is Denver wins the next 2 games and the Chargers lose the next 2 games. That's it. It's that simple. Doesn't need 50 different combinations. Doesn't need to be calculating point differentials. It's straightforward. Win 2, they lose 2, and it's over. If that happens, Denver would reach 12 wins and 2 losses. The Chargers would fall to 8 wins and 6 losses. And even if Kansas City also won their next 2 games and reached 10 wins, it still wouldn't make any difference. You know why? Because the math simply doesn't work out for them anymore. Let's do the math together here. If Denver is at 12 wins and there are still 3 games left to finish the regular season, the maximum that Los Angeles and Kansas City could reach would be 11 wins if they won all their remaining games. 11 wins, and Denver would already be at 12. Game over, end of story. AFC West title guaranteed with 3 weeks to spare. Do you understand the magnitude of this, Broncos country? We'd be celebrating the division title still in December with 3 rounds ahead. That would mean the last games of the regular season could be used to rest important players, to test different schemes, to prepare the team specifically for the playoffs. It would be a gigantic strategic advantage. And look, this possibility isn't crazy at all. I'm not talking about a scenario where everything needs to go perfectly right. I'm talking about something realistic. The Chargers really do have 2 very tough games ahead. Eagles and Chiefs aren't easy opponents at all. And Denver? We have 2 games where we're favored, where we have complete conditions to win if we play our football. Think with me. Facing the Raiders in Las Vegas is the type of game a title-contending team needs to win. Can't stumble against an opponent that's down at the bottom of the standings. It's the type of game where experience, roster quality, and winning mentality make all the difference. And this Denver team has all of that in spades. And then hosting Green Bay? Family playing at home is always different. The altitude, the cold, the crowd pushing every play. The Packers are going to feel all of that. While our players are used to these conditions, the visiting team will be fighting the environment too. It's a real concrete advantage. Now tell me something. Did anyone imagine this at the beginning of the year? Would anyone bet that Denver would be in this privileged position in December? That we'd be talking about guaranteeing a division title weeks early? That we'd be fighting for the best record in the entire AFC? Most predictions had Denver as a team that would fight for a wild card spot. A team that maybe, with luck, could make it to the playoffs. Nobody was talking about dominating the division. Nobody was talking about being the first seed in the conference. And look where we are now. 10 wins in 12 games. A defense that's among the best in the league. An offense that's finding its rhythm at the right time. A coach who's getting the maximum out of the roster. Players committed, focused, believing in the process. It's everything we needed to compete on equal terms with any NFL team. And you know what's coolest? This team is growing every week. We're not at our ceiling yet. There's still room to improve. There are still plays to adjust. There's still chemistry to develop. Imagine this team reaching the playoffs with 3 weeks of focused preparation, with starters rested, with everyone healthy. It's going to be scary for any opponent. But let's also take it easy, Broncos country. Because in football, nothing is guaranteed until the ball is snapped. We've seen teams waste enormous advantages. We've seen favorites stumble in games that seemed won. We've seen upsets happen when nobody expected them. So we need to keep our feet on the ground and focus on the next game. The game against the Raiders can't be approached carelessly. They may have a bad record, but they're still NFL players. They still have pride. They can still cause trouble in a specific game. Denver needs to take the field concentrated, executing the game plan, doing what they've been doing in recent weeks. No thinking it's going to be easy. No underestimating the opponent. And then comes Green Bay, a historic team with tradition, with quality players. It's going to be a big test for Denver. It's going to be an opportunity to show that we can compete and win against any style of play. If the goal is to go far in the playoffs, winning this type of game is fundamental. But while we do our part on the field, let's hope things fall into place on the other side too. Let's hope the Eagles do their job against Los Angeles. Let's hope the Chiefs, even though they're not in their best form, can beat the Chargers at home. Because if all that happens, family, we'll be celebrating the AFC West title already in Week 15. Think about what that represents. Think about the confidence that will bring to the team. Think about the peace of mind of knowing the playoff spot is guaranteed comfortably. Think about being able to manage the physical wear on players in the final weeks. Think about reaching the postseason with everyone fresh, prepared, ready for a long run. And it doesn't stop there. With the division title guaranteed early, Denver can focus entirely on pursuing that first overall seed in the AFC. Because if we get that, all playoff games would be at home. Just imagine, every opponent having to come play here, having to deal with our crowd, with our conditions, with our home field advantage. That could be the difference between reaching the conference championship or going to the Super Bowl. Every detail matters in this final stretch of the season. Every win builds momentum. Every win increases confidence. Every win puts more pressure on opponents. And Denver is on the right path. Is doing things the right way, is winning games, is evolving as a team, is preparing for something big. Look at the similarity to that magical year of 2015. A team that exceeded expectations, a team that grew throughout the season, a team that had a dominant defense, a team that believed when few believed, and we know how that year ended, don't we? With the most important trophy in the sport raised high. I'm not saying it's going to happen exactly the same. Every season is unique. Every team has its own journey, but the similarities exist. The winning spirit is there. The determination is there. The quality is there. And with a little luck in the next 2 weekends, we could have the division title in the bag much earlier than anyone imagined. So that's it, Denver Broncos family. We have an incredible scenario ahead of us. We have the real possibility of securing our place in the playoffs in a dominant way, of showing the entire league that Denver is back for real, that this team isn't here just to participate, it's here to conquer. But now comes the most important part of all, your support. Because Broncos country is fundamental in this entire journey. Every fan cheering at home, every person wearing the orange and blue colors, every voice screaming when the team takes the field. That makes a difference. That's fuel for the players. That's energy that drives victories. If you've been following this team since the beginning of the season, if you believed when many doubted, if you're living every game with the same intensity as me, then you're an essential part of all this. You're part of this journey toward the title. You're part of this family that never gives up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, family, now is the perfect time. Because the next games are going to be way too exciting and you can't miss any analysis, any debate, any celebration. We'll be here covering every play, discussing every decision, celebrating every victory. So click that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and come be part of this family that bleeds orange and blue. In the coming weeks, we'll know if this incredible scenario is going to materialize. If Denver is really going to guarantee the AFC West title with 3 rounds to spare, if we're going to be able to start focusing completely on the playoffs while other teams are still fighting for spots, if this season is really going to be as special as it's seeming to be. But regardless of what happens, one thing I can already say. This team deserves all our respect and support. Because it's not easy to get where they've gotten. It's not simple to have 10 wins in 12 games in a league as competitive as the NFL. It's not just any team that can lead their division so prominently. This group of players, this coaching staff, the entire organization deserves our recognition. And the best part, the best, is yet to come. Because if there's one thing we've learned over the years, it's that in the playoffs anything can happen. That's where the true teams reveal themselves. That's where stars shine brightest. That's where the most important pages of the season are written, and Denver is preparing exactly for that. So let's hope, family. Let's celebrate. Let's support. Because when Broncos country is united, when we're together, nothing can stop us. This fan base has seen it all, has celebrated unforgettable titles, has overcome difficult moments, has proven to be one of the most passionate and loyal in football, and now it's time to live another special chapter. The next two games are crucial: Raiders and Packers. Two wins that could completely change the panorama of our season. Two wins that could put Denver in an absolutely privileged position for the final stretch of the year. Two wins that could make this team take a giant step toward the bigger goal. And while we do our part on the field, let's keep an eye on what happens with the Chargers. Because if the Eagles and Chiefs do what we expect, if they manage to beat Los Angeles, then in Week 15 we could be celebrating something very, very special. Something that will be marked as one of the most important moments of this season. Imagine the scene, end of Week 15. Denver with 12 wins. AFC West title mathematically guaranteed. Fans celebrating, players rejoicing, the stadium in delirium. That's what we're talking about. That's the real possibility that exists in the next 2 weeks. And just thinking about it gives you chills, doesn't it? But as I said before, let's maintain focus. Let's think game by game. Let's respect every opponent. Let's do our job with seriousness and determination. Because that's how you achieve great things in sports. That's how you build memorable campaigns. That's how you get where we want to get. And you can be sure of one thing, Broncos country. This team is prepared. This team is focused. This team believes in what it's doing. And with you by our side, with this incredible fan base, supporting from the first to the last minute, we have everything to make something truly special happen. So that's it, Denver Broncos family. See you in the next videos, analyzing every game, discussing every play, celebrating every victory. And who knows, very soon, we'll be here celebrating the AFC West title guaranteed early. Until then, keep the faith, keep the support, and let's keep believing in this wonderful team. Leave a like if you're as excited as I am about these next few weeks. Comment below what you think the score will be in Denver's next games. Share this video with that friend who's true Broncos country. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content about our beloved team. Until next time, family.